Hello, hello. Welcome to RamGoatAstrology, our final show of 2023.
Yes. Hello. I'm a little bit sounding like a robot, maybe.
You just kind of sound sick.
Um,
It's okay.
yeah. It's because I'm sick, you guys.
I know we
Neptune
missed you.
square sun happened and I got sick. Told
Yeah.
everyone to be safe and take care of themselves on that day, except for me.
And you did not listen to your own
I
advice.
did not listen to myself. And I thought to myself after, I was like, that was the last time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's time to make some changes in how we take care of ourselves. And we just had a full moon in Cancer, which feels like such a great time for you to really evaluate how you've been nourishing yourself,
Mm. Yeah,
which
for
is what you're
sure.
doing.
It's a main theme inside of this brain. I'm just thinking about all of the like farmers I'm gonna go to for eggs and meat, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all I'm thinking about.
Right? You
Yeah.
gotta have a new system and really, really evaluate what isn't serving you
Mm.
and let it go. Like the
Yeah.
sugar or in America, the food dye. It's everywhere. It's
Mm.
everywhere. We need to let it go. We need to stop poisoning children on a regular basis and
Mm.
embrace other types of, you know, ways of making candy, right? I'm not opposed to candy and chocolate. I'm opposed to the
Mm.
chemicals that are going to give you cancer that they coat the candy and chocolate with.
There's
Or
plenty of like natural food dye.
I know. I know. I feel you. I've been fighting this battle for years, almost
Yeah.
15 now, so
Yeah.
it's a while. So this is what this Cancer moon just asked us to do. Asked us to take a really deep look at how we are nourishing ourselves, how we're dealing with our emotions, how we're dealing with mothering ourselves, right?
Mm.
And then Capricorn sun goes, okay, time to make some changes,
Mm.
right? Like time to set a new foundation that works better.
Yeah. The last
So,
full moon of the year.
yeah. And we get to do that right before Jupiter goes direct in a couple days, and then on the 30th, and then right after that Mercury goes direct. So we get to like make these plans, we get to release what isn't serving us, we get to kind of get our structure, get our mind map going, and then in the new year we get to
Yeah.
start off going forward.
Yeah. And we're gonna be recording a the year ahead also that will be released next week because I'm
Yep.
sure you're all curious about like what's coming, and I'm so curious to take a look at that,
Me
and
too.
I can't wait to record it.
I know,
But
I'm
today,
really
before we look at the year ahead, we're going to be looking at 2023 and like what's been going on this year to just wrap up the year. I feel like it's always nice to before you go into the like to the new year and thinking about like all the goals, all of the whatever you have, and you're thinking about changing, to just look back at what you've been doing and what you've achieved and what you've gone through, because a year is a long time and it might not feel like you've done a lot, but I always feel like when you go back, then you're surprised at
yeah.
how much has actually been happening.
It does. I think
Yeah,
humans way underestimate what they can do in a year.
yeah.
They
So
overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate
yeah,
what they can do in a year.
for sure. A year is such a long time. Yeah, it's I mean, lives can change over a day as well, but in a year, real big changes can be made. And it might not feel like it because it happens slowly, but then over time, it's like, whoop, you moved, you got a new job, you got a new partner, you had a kid,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. Builds and builds and builds on top of itself.
Yeah. So do you think that should we go December and then back up? No,
No.
you don't like that idea.
No. I gave it a thought. No, we got to start from January and tell the story. You got to tell the story through the year.
Let's do that. And I remember that, actually, I don't remember. I just listened to the year ahead last year before
Okay.
this episode. So I don't remember, but I just listened to our episode. Actually, that's a good idea for you guys to do as well. to listen to our The Year Ahead 2023. That was released about a year ago. Could be interesting to listen to that. Um, Last year we also entered the new year in a Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, we
That I
did.
remember.
Yep. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was aired December 22nd. So 12, 22, 22. Changes are coming. 2023 planetary
Mm,
shifts. So go
mm,
check that episode out and see how that feels for you. What happened?
mm.
Did that resonate with you? Is it totally off? Like, let us know. We want to hear. I'm super
Yeah.
curious.
And for this episode, also, I would suggest get out your calendar or Instagram so you can scroll back through your life and see like Instagram is a great diary just to see
It
like what you've
is.
been doing. Yeah, like if we talk about a major transit or something, then you can go back and see what was I doing at that time?
Oh, that's such
How
a
does it
great idea.
correlate?
I
Yeah.
love that idea. I love that.
All right. So January, the first thing that I have written down here in my notes is Sun conjunct Pluto, January 18th.
Okay.
And Pluto was still in Capricorn and Sun was still in Capricorn. So this happens once a year because the Sun goes around the zodiac once a year. So that means that once a year it will be at the same point as Pluto in the sky. And Sun is your vitality and life force, and Pluto is like that, like real change, change from the roots, like that hardcore, um, uncomfortable change.
Yeah.
So actually, we didn't do this, but I'm wondering what what I did around this time. What were you doing in January last year?
I know I was pregnant.
You were, yeah, you
I
were
know
pregnant.
that.
You were
Yep.
very pregnant.
Yep. I
You were
was
like
get
7 months?
probably 7 months. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. I'm guessing I was around that. So I just remember, not just, but I remember we were still working on accepting and recognizing the big shift we were going to be going through. Like I was
yeah,
still really wrapping my head around that. That one was a struggle for me.
yeah. I have a better idea than to look through Instagram. Just open your like photos app and scroll back. Way easier, way more information.
Right.
Yeah,
No, that makes sense. I actually just did for the kids for Christmas this year. I decided to start a new tradition. And I'm not a traditional kind of gal. If you guys see my chart, you'll know why. And I do not really like giving gifts. Like, that's probably my lowest on the whole love language thing. It's not that I don't like it, I don't like being forced to give them because society says so.
mm,
So, like a good 11th house person I am, right? I find my own way to do the system. And this year I went through my photos and I took photos for each kid and put them into a photo book and made a year photo book for each child. So it was tailored towards them and they loved them.
that's nice.
Like they loved them. But I really enjoyed going back through the photos. Like that was
Mm,
really, I don't know, therapeutic in a way. I think
mm,
that would be the good word to
yeah.
use. Yeah. Yeah.
I think now I've gone back in my photos app, seeing what I was doing, and I I was doing pretty good work-wise around this time. And I think Sun conjunct Pluto for me was like that, bringing that powerfulness into work, like really sort of gaining
Yeah.
some more stable, yeah, power or something. Like I was getting more responsibilities and just making that base stronger
Yeah. That makes sense. And then
work-wise.
it would have been mid-January is when Mercury went back direct in that Earth sign of Capricorn. So
Yeah,
that would have made a lot of sense that your mind and work would have been the main topic there.
yeah. Yeah, this could have definitely been a day when you guys could have harnessed a lot of power to
Mm,
do
yeah.
to begin making changes. And maybe the big change did not happen on this day, uh, but a little seed started that kept on growing.
Hmm.
Um, The second thing I had written down for January is that Uranus went into Taurus on January 22nd. It feels like Uranus has been in Taurus for way longer. This is not correct.
Oh, it went direct in Taurus.
Oh, okay. I can't read my own signs. Yeah, I did an arrow. Yeah, that means
That way.
direct. Yeah, that means direct. January 22nd, Uranus went direct in Taurus. And for anyone who has planets or aspects in Taurus, you've had a tough couple of years, I'm pretty sure,
Hmm.
because Uranus has been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth over this sign. And I think it's now around like, I'm just gonna guess, I feel like it's around like 14, 15 degrees right now, something like that.
I can tell you in
So it's
just two
still
seconds.
like smack in the middle.
Yeah, it's at 19 degrees right
Ooh,
now.
is that? Oh, all
Yeah.
right. So this
We're
30
we're getting
degrees
there.
of a sign. Yeah. Getting there slowly but surely. I think that Uranus will be completely out of Taurus in about not this year, but next, I think it's next year.
Yep, 20 end of 2025. Yep, into right at the beginning of 2026. I think it has a little
Hmm.
retrograde thing there too. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And then
it's gonna be a while,
congratulations, all Geminis.
right? And then
Yeah.
what's interesting too is going back and listening or looking or reading about what happened the last time Uranus was in Taurus and the last time Uranus moved into Gemini and what was going on during those times. And it's not the best things. It's a little challenging, but from the challenging things like the world wars came all kinds of other things like social security and just new more democratic things. And so there's good stuff that came out of the rubble, but it was not an easy time for the world, that's for sure.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, Taurus in, no, sorry, Uranus and Taurus has really been shaking a lot up in the economy and
Yeah.
food and
And food.
safety and all
Yeah.
of those things. Do you have your phone there with
I
you?
do. Yeah.
I think it would be funny to see like what photo that we have taken the closest to these dates that we're going to be talking about.
All right. So I have a lot of pregnant belly pictures.
I can imagine.
But one of the things that I was working on at the time was my son and I were working on my book. So we
Oh,
published a book.
ooh.
We had a baby at home, and you can find that on Amazon. But it's a book that my I wrote from the perspective of my children when we had my now toddler. And so my son was 13 at the time and he illustrated the pictures for it. So that's what we were working on in January is writing and illustrating our book that we published then
That's a big
in
thing.
March. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right before the baby was born. And my
Mhm.
picture is a picture from work. I was organizing prizes.
Oh, look at
Fun.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. So we were both doing work. We were working on
We were
work.
both we were both working on work. Very, very Taurus.
Yeah.
The next thing I have written down is in February. It's February 15th when Venus conjunct Neptune, because I felt like I was just focusing on negative stuff. So Venus conjunct Neptune, that would have been like and this is the day after Valentine's Day, even though I don't really celebrate that, but it's sort of like I don't know. I don't buy stuff, but
Right.
I think there's something cute over like having a day for love. And you
Right.
don't need to buy something, but just I don't know, it's just like a day to be extra cute with
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
And Venus conjunct Neptune, I think felt like a really great um thing to be happening around that time because Venus is all about love and like, being romantic, and Neptune can get super romantic and like to the point of idealizing something. But so this
Yeah.
is
Putting
definitely
on a
like that.
pedestal.
Yeah, for sure. Like that putting on a pedestal kind of transit this was.
I do
And
know that week was a challenging one. I have quite a few people in my life born that week, that mid-February. including my daughter, February 11th. And so we were working on celebrating her second birthday. But I have a lot of friends with birthdays that week, and I read a lot of solar return charts for that week. And I
Mm,
do know the sun was conjunct Saturn that week as well. So I know a lot of people who have been rocking that energy all year long, and they are really done with it now. Like, okay, I'm done having a hard, responsible, mature year. Can we move on now?
yeah. Yeah. Like that would
So,
have been a nice time to just put on those heart-shaped blinders and
yeah.
just gotten
Yes.
lost in all of that.
So my picture for the February transit is my son and I
Ah, you
doing our
pregnant?
height. So
And your
we were
son
doing,
taller than you.
and he was taller than me at that point. Now he's way taller than me, but we've been doing height pictures every couple months. So we were enjoying the water. We were in the water, went to a water park.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that with the Neptune water
Yeah,
thing.
very Neptune. And I have a photo from work, but organization at work. Again. So you see my life.
Your photos are so practical.
Yeah, my photos are very practical.
That's
All right, next up, we jump to March. March
March.
7, and that was a big day. Do you remember what happened March 7?
Oh.
Saturn went into Pisces.
Oh, that's right.
Saturn entered Pisces, and we have a whole episode on that.
Oh,
Um,
do you know what happened that month?
no.
That was a tough month for us.
Oh, I
I think
remember.
it was that I think that's the day we put our dog down. I think that was the day we ended up putting our dog down. Then we lost a cat, we lost a dog, we lost a donkey, all in like
A
a
few
week or
weeks time.
so. It was a
Mm.
lot. It was a lot of death. It was very Saturn and Pisces.
Yeah,
Very
I remember
transitional.
that.
Yeah, March was
Right
tough. I have a
before
lot
your
of pictures
baby.
of our dog. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
and
okay, like, but at the same time, like, so here's my picture of my little puppy,
oh,
Dahlia, who passed. She ended up having jaw cancer, and it got diagnosed, and within 3 weeks we had to let her go because it was getting down into her throat and stuff. So
yeah.
that makes that's such a Saturn, like, it's a hard, mature energy, and it
Mm.
makes you grow up and makes you do the hard things. And yep, we
Yeah,
did that.
Pisces is about feeling it all, and Pisces is sort of that. It's the last sign of the zodiac. So yeah, it has a lot to do with transitioning. You're transitioning into pretty much the world that you can't see, which is like death, pretty
Yep.
much. And but also Saturn in Pisces is so much about what how I read it at least is empathy, like learning the hard way
Yeah.
globally how
Yep.
to become more em empathic. Yeah,
Empathic. Yep.
empathic. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like this year has been a very tough year for the world,
Mm.
and I feel like it's been a few hard years, but I mean, this is it's just going in that direction. I feel like where a couple of years ago, you're like, oh, this was a bad year. It will get better. But now it's like, oh, you just keep it blowing through next levels of terrible things happening. And I feel like it's very Saturn in Pisces. It's just really hardcore making us feel everything. And all I hope is that we are learning a lot because that's what we really need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's, well, and like you said, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So it feels like we're really wrapping up some lessons in like humanitarian connections and like, our global interconnectedness, our spiritual interconnectedness, that we are all one. And that's what all of the religions have been trying to teach us this whole time, right? Like, and that's, like, they've all been saying this, Jesus and Muhammad, and all of them have been saying, we are all one. We
Mm,
are connected with the divine. We are stars. We are God. We are this. We are all, we are all a unit, like just like cells are all the same unit in your body, right? We are all a cellular system, part of a cellular system of a global planet, of a galactic universe. We are all, for those that couldn't
Yeah.
see it, my hands just did a little weird thing.
And I feel like religion and like spiritualism overall has definitely been on the rise for for 2023. It's becoming more and more common, and I feel like yeah, verbal, like in our words as well, where I'm using like God and religious connotation words all of the time now, and that's also where you go when terrible things happen. You go to religion, you go to spiritualism, and at the same time, there's been a lot of cults like on the rise as well, more,
Right.
and I think that's going to keep happening for as long as Saturn is in Pisces.
Yeah. Because we have the
Because
extreme of the two fish, right? We
yeah,
got the two fish going in opposite directions, and the healing comes when you sit at the side of the pond and you observe the fish. You don't participate in their antics. You observe from both of them. You watch that fish go into that land. You watch that fish go over that way. You don't get in the pond and chase after them, right? The maturity comes in the recognition, the observation, the understanding that both fish play, the role that each of them play,
yeah,
right? And then
yeah,
that's again that existential kind of concept.
yeah. And my picture from this day is of a list about things I need to do at work.
It's such a great Capricorn rising.
I hope my boss is listening.
Oh, that's so amusing. We also, that time was also when Mercury was in entering Pisces just a few days before that. So we had Mercury enter Pisces, and then right after the Sun entered Pisces, and then right after Saturn entered Pisces. So we had this like do 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 of
Yeah.
planetary energy forcing us into Pisces, whether we wanted to be in there or not. It was like a mob shoving us forward, right? Shoving us, or I should say, forward into the past, right? It with that Pisces past connection and learning from our past and really
Mm.
working on that healing. So we didn't have an option. We had to deal with shit from the past. We did.
Yeah. Yeah. And jump forward to March 23rd.
I know what
You
happened
know what I'm
then.
gonna say. Yeah. Pluto entered Aquarius for the
Yeah,
first time in, okay, I'm gonna sort of guess here, but like 248 years.
correct.
It's something like that.
It
Something
is.
around
Yep. 248. Yep. Isn't that crazy?
248 years.
248 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we experienced this energy as a collective the last time. And that
Yeah.
was when we had a revolution in America, and America was like founded. That's when the French Revolution happened. There was a lot of revolutions on this
A
planet.
lot of
So
revolutions.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh my God. I want to remember some like news from the world around this date. I don't really.
This was right around the time in America when abortion issues became a huge thing, and Roe v. Wade got overturned, and abortion was becoming illegal in certain states but
That's
not in
right.
others, and it was nobody knew what was going on. It was all chaotic, and women would have a miscarriage later in their pregnancy, but the doctors were scared to help them, and like a woman died because she couldn't get the help she needed because the doctors were worried about the prosecution. It was crazy. It was
Yeah. Was this like right, those things, was that right before Pluto went into Aquarius, do you think? That sounds very much like Pluto last degree
It was, I don't
Capricorn.
remember exactly the timeline, but I know it was really, really,
Yeah.
really, really
Because
close to that
the
energy.
last degree, the 29th degree of any sign is called the anaretic degree, and it's a very like very, oh, what's the word? Very like poignant. No. degree when a lot of shit goes down, like that very last degree. And because Pluto moves so slowly, I do remember us talk. We have a whole episode on this as
We do.
well, Pluto in Aquarius, and yeah, that degree before, which is was still in Capricorn, I felt like I remember there was a lot of things changing, like in the banking systems. There was a lot of things like old world kind of things, like trying to hold on to what they could. There was a lot of weird things happening like that with abortions, like
Hmm.
really reverting back into
Going
like
backwards. Yeah.
very much going backwards. Um, but yeah,
So
then
that
it was in
was a
Aquarius.
6 week little stint we got to experience a little bit of the flavor of Pluto in Aquarius. And I happened to have a baby during that 6 weeks. So I have a little
That's right.
new generation he's the first of now a new 20-year cycle that's about to start, but he got in that little 6 week window. So it's interesting to have this like little ahead of the curve kind of energy in my home, right? With this little
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
Curious what kind of revolutions he's going to cause.
So what's your photo from March 23rd when Pluto entered Aquarius?
That's funny. I don't actually have a photo. I have a video of me with my belly.
Oh,
That's just a belly
it's
video
moving.
from
It's
my
moving.
perspective. So I'd put the phone
Yeah,
on my by my face and I just watch the activity happen. So I
yeah.
have like probably 6 or 7 videos. I'm guessing I was resting. I was resting and just
Yeah.
bored and taking
I would
videos,
have hoped so.
right?
My photo from this day is a photo of me holding keys in my hallway. I'm not sure why.
What?
Taking a photo of keys.
Hmm.
It could
Why
have
would
been
you?
like, this could have been a great story of like changing house or something on this date, but it's not. It's just me with a key in my same
Right, like I
apartment where I'm
bought
living.
my house. Right. No, like
Yeah, yeah,
not.
it looks like that kind of photo, but it's not. It's not.
That's amusing.
I won't trick you. Um,
That is funny. I have a
okay.
lot of photos the next day, the 23rd, of interesting. I must have been going through. Oh, yes, I remember this. Philip and I had a date out in the studio here, and I was going through pictures and I found a bunch of pictures of family members. So this was like my grandpa and me as a little kid and my two brothers.
Cute.
And then I have another picture of my dad's parents when they were really, really young. So I've got tons of like, look at little Laura with all her
Oh,
animals. Like I've got tons of old photos from we were going through pictures and I wanted to take pictures of them so I had them digitally. That's fun.
yeah,
I don't know
that
how
is
that
nice.
how that
A trip
connects,
down
but
memory
whatever.
lane. Yeah, I'm thinking like this was the start of a lot of big things that we might not have seen on the same date, but
Right.
wow, this whole year feels very colored by this as well, I feel like. Like this year has been very Saturn in Pisces and Pluto in Aquarius.
It has.
Very much. Uh all right, next month, April 11th, Venus
I know it
trine Pluto.
happened that day.
Oh, you had a baby
I had a baby.
on
A
Venus
baby who
trine Pluto day.
told me he was coming that day,
This was
which
very
we
cool. I
have
remember
on
that.
recording in a podcast. He told me what day and how he was coming, and we have it recorded. And
Yeah, and you were, I mean, you were not down to the hour, but
I was off by 31 minutes. Come on, give me
that's
some
pretty,
credit.
oh my God. I thought it was longer.
No,
That's pretty
31.
amazing. 31 minutes?
I
Ooh.
thought it was 6:15 and he came at 6:46, which I'm so grateful because it made him instead of an Aries rising, a Taurus rising, and I'm so glad Spirit knows better than me.
Because if that would have been the case, he would have been a triple Aries, sun, moon, and rising in Aries.
He would have been a Sun and Jupiter conjunct his rising sign.
Mm.
No.
No.
No, thanks. I'll take a Taurus rising. Thanks so much. So yeah, April 11th was a big day. Venus was in Gemini. And then it was trine to Pluto and Aquarius, and Venus went into Gemini, and I had a baby, and the sun
Talk
in
about
Aries.
having a baby energies like
I know, right?
Pluto, yeah,
And the
Venus,
sun in Aries was conjunct Jupiter in Aries exact, and it was a big day.
a big day, a big Aries day,
Yeah,
big
yeah,
baby birthing day.
yeah. And
So
he,
I guess you have a photo from
I do. I bet you I do. So I didn't get there yet. What's your photo?
my photo is from my kitchen. I wanted to paint it yellow, so I
Oh,
had
that's
like
right. I
five
remember
different
you
shades of
showing me these.
and then I changed my mind and wanted it blue instead.
Oh my
It
gosh,
looks
that's so
kind of
funny.
nice, but weird.
That's super funny. I love that. So, yes, I have a couple of pictures. Hang on here. We have the one where this is the great one. We're going to show this one. This is my face is phenomenal. This is right after he had just come out. This is best. Check out that face.
Wow.
That is called relief and oh my
Wow.
god and we
Emotional
got him done.
overload.
I was just done. I was
Wow.
done. Yeah, my face is very like, okay, that hurt. I'm good. We're done. I'm okay being done with that. But then right after, that was the next one right after. So then I'm looking at the baby and I'm happy
Yeah.
and
And it
but
has not
yes,
even been a year yet.
no,
He's not, it
he's
feels
eight
like he's
months
been
old.
there for like 2 years
Well, you've known about his existence for
for a
a
long time.
while.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No, he's only 8 months. He's
Little
starting to army
Bubba.
crawl. He's getting there. Yeah, had a baby and in a pool right next to where I'm sitting right now on an Aries
That's right.
Jupiter Sun conjunct day. April
Mm.
11th. I hope you guys had a good April.
I feel like April was very active, as
Mhm.
it should be, because April is Aries month. You know, we have what's it called? Like the Witch's New Year, the
Spring equinox.
spring equinox. Exactly. And also this we have eclipse season
Mhm.
was around that time as well.
Well,
April
that's right. We
19th.
had eclipses too.
Yeah, 19th was the solar eclipse. I didn't write down the lunar eclipse actually. Um,
That
and
would have
I
been in
don't know
March,
if it
right?
was before or after. It
It
would
might
have
have been
been
March.
2 weeks before or 2 weeks after
I'm
because
pretty sure that was in March. March was like a
March was a lot, April was a lot.
Yep.
I remember it being a lot.
Yep, I do too. A lot is a great word. And then I realized I had a lot of children
Yeah.
and my house became way smaller. And we started to make plans for our future so we could have a new environment. And I remember using that Taurus season to really utilize our knowledge of foundational stuff like home building and stuff. We were really starting to pour our energy into designing our home. We're converting our barn into our house. And like that's when we started designing like the plans and doing all that stuff was
Mm.
during Taurus season, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
I don't have a picture of
Uh,
that though. Sorry.
but in maybe it happened on May 16th when Jupiter went direct in Taurus.
That sounds about right. It was mid-May. I know it
Hmm.
was early to mid-May. We did a lot of our home building or home planning stuff.
Yeah. So Jupiter is a planet that expands things and people usually talk about how it brings luck.
Hmm.
It brings I mean it can because it expands, that sounds very nice, but it can also expand things that you don't want to expand. Just want
Right.
to have that said.
Yep.
Um, and Jupiter has also been in Taurus for quite a while now, and moving back and forth. And Taurus is all about that, like being stable, thinking about how you're gonna build your house, how are you gonna save the money in the bank. So
Yep.
I'm wondering about May 16th, what happened when Jupiter went direct in Taurus. Because after
We
Uranus has been playing around, it feels very
we
nice to
were
have Jupiter.
putting plants and trees and stuff in our yard. So this
Ooh,
is my son and I, my oldest, and we were in the front yard putting in berry bushes and fruit trees and planting food. We were planting food for the future. That's what we were
nice.
doing.
Making
Yep.
things grow and become big and abundant.
Yeah.
Sounds very Jupiter in Taurus.
Yep. We were literally putting my I got my hubby putting a fruit tree in the back there with the toddler on my lap. Yep. Whole family
Oh, I
affair.
can't wait for spring.
Yeah, I know, right?
Cannot wait
Doesn't
for
it
spring.
makes you get a little itchy for it, doesn't it?
Yes, very. Let's see what I was doing. I had visitors from Mexico. Uh,
Nice. You
my
did. That's
boyfriend's
right.
family. Yeah, they were here. This is a photo from my living room with my boyfriend and his brother-in-law. This was the
Nice.
day they were leaving. We were packing up. But it was a really 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 nice time. His mom and sister and her husband came over and spent some time with us in Sweden for the first time, and we ate a lot of nice food.
Nice.
We ate a lot of
That
nice food.
that sounds very nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. What happened next?
All right. Next up, June 11th, Capricorn. Um, Capricorn. No, no, no. This is not correct. I wrote Capricorn re-entered Cap. I think what I meant to say is Pluto.
Yes. Retrograde Pluto re-enter.
Yeah,
We'll get it.
retrograded back into
We'll
Capricorn.
figure it out.
That's what I meant to say. So there was the Pluto in Aquarius stint was over.
Yep, the sneak
Back,
peek.
that was the little sneak peek was done. That was all that we needed for this time. And it was back in Capricorn.
Yeah.
That's it.
So this is then the energy of wrapping up the issues that have been plaguing us since 2008, right? Like what are the things that have been an issue since then? Well, in America, it's been a major housing crisis. And we had in 2008, so interesting. We had too many houses being built that people couldn't afford anymore. And now we have not enough houses that people can't afford. Like it's, we had like a construction boom where there was like houses just being built, and banks
Mm,
were loaning out too much money to people who couldn't afford it. And now we've got people who can afford houses, but banks won't give them loans because the house market is like over here. It's like an average house right now is in the $300,000 to $400,000 range. Like if we were to sell our home and land, we would not qualify to repurchase it.
yeah.
So that's that kind of an issue right now where people can't get a house or get approved for a house even though they've got the funds and the finances. It's totally backwards of
Flipped.
what it started off with.
Yeah,
So weird.
that's crazy. What's your
So
photo
weird.
from this day? Do you have a June 11th photo
June
or video?
11th. Let me go look. Hang on. June
In the
4, 5.
meantime,
What you got?
I have a video of a really nice hairdo that I made for my niece.
Aw, that's cute.
Yeah, looking back at these photos really, really make me want to have summer and spring now.
Right? I've got I'm pretty sure this is the first time my baby smiled that day, so we're
Oh,
gonna show that one.
oh,
So
that's
little
very
baby
cute.
Felix,
It looks like a big full moon.
right? And we were planting again, so yeah, garden stuff. So Philip and Saffron out in the garden doing some garden
Oh,
stuff.
I missed the garden.
Yeah, I know. It's all tilled and the soil looks so nice. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. I can't wait.
can't wait. Okay, next thing, June 15th. What does
What
it
happened
say?
then?
Venus in Leo, square Jupiter in Taurus. Venus
Very nice.
square Jupiter. So this would have been like one of those times when Jupiter maybe was not bringing good luck. It could, I mean, it still can, even though it's a square, it's Jupiter, so it still can be nice things, but you could also imagine that it might have been something because it's Venus and a square, it could have been like overspending,
Hmm.
doing too much of something fun, overspending your
Overindulgence.
overindulgent, yeah, eating too many truffles.
Do you know what happened? Hang on. I do have to go back to that June 11th. Do you know what happened?
No?
That was the day we had our friend come and start living. She lived in our camper for the summer. And she was the one we ended up trying to buy the cafe with. That's what happened June 11th. I knew something happened that day. Like it was a really specific transit day. And I remember reading that Venus Jupiter thing, and it ended the end of September.
Hmm.
That transity thing when and Venus went retrograde or something happened that time. And that transit ended the end of September. And that's when the cafe purchase and all of that just
Did
completely
not
we ended
happen.
it, fell apart.
Yeah. So that's like you had some really big, nice, sort of romantic dreams about buying this cafe with this woman that you
Yes.
didn't really know, and it was all gonna happen. You're going to do it together and live together and all of this, and then over time, it
It
was
ended up
just not
being
not the
a
right.
lot of different situations, but like why it didn't work out. And we are all very grateful for it. And it created this phenomenal
Yeah,
friendship and business partnership that we're going to work together in the future. But we
yeah,
all realized like that wasn't the path. We are
that was
grateful
not the
for
path.
like the experience, but we're all like, oh, thank goodness that didn't happen.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that you were you bought a
Uh huh.
cafe.
Yeah. I'm so glad it didn't happen. But
Me
because of
too.
that, Philip started baking gluten free.
Exactly. And
And
now it's been on that
now
journey.
he's got his own business that's taking off doing gluten-free stuff. So I'm fine with that
Whoop
because he
for that.
makes
And
amazing
where
food.
can you find that delicious gluten-free bread? On Aquarian
Um,
Acres.
Aquarian Acres Facebook and Instagram right now, and we're coming out with our website hopefully in early January when Mercury goes back stationary and direct.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so it's getting there, but it you have to go on the journey in order to discover the path, and our path was a side path off of that journey of cafe purchasing, but it started June 11th with that transit. Yeah,
Mm.
that's funny. I love that.
All right, so the 15th, Venus in Leo will square Jupiter in Taurus.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your picture from that day?
Probably a baby. I'm gonna go ahead. Nope, it's a cat.
Oh,
It's a cat. This is one of our many cats. This is Roland. He's just chillaxing.
Roland. That's so cute.
So we have a lot of cats, and I have Jupiter in my sixth house of small animals. So we have a lot of them. That's one of them. He's our main house cat.
Roland. All right, my picture. It's a really nice picture, actually. This is a nice memory.
What's
So
your
this
cat?
is me. This is my view. I'm sitting.
Ooh.
You can you see the
Yep.
pretty water? So I'm
Like a
sitting
duck
next
and
to the
water.
water, working on astrology stuff.
Yes.
That was like a life goal kind of moment, I feel like, to just sit and like in nature at a beautiful spot, writing about astrology for money.
Perfect. Ta-da.
That that was a
Check.
good like
Life goal
nice
succeeded.
yeah,
Next.
that was a nice step.
I love
Um yeah, yeah. That's a nice memory. See, this is like, going back and you're like, oh, this is the year when I started doing that. That's right.
yeah.
Hmm.
I honestly forgot.
Um,
I even this sounds so ridiculous, but I forgot I wrote and published that book because it happened
more than
during
one.
such a tumultuous time with our animals passing and
Yeah.
getting new animals, and I was super super heavily pregnant. Um, I know we were going through some transitionary stuff with Elliot with his nutritional stuff and diet changes and having to go gluten free and all of this and corn free and wheat free, all of it. So I know it was a real March was just tumultuous for us personally, and I forgot I published a book. It's so ridiculous.
Goodness
But
me.
that's why you need to go back and look at your pictures so you
Yeah,
remember
and
that you published a book.
exactly. And you can really have so much gratitude for yourself. Like, wow, I accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
or like I went through a lot and I'm still here, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I agree.
Uh, Next up is July. July 17th. This was a big thing because this was the date when the nodes change signs. So the nodes, they always go backwards. All the
Hmm.
planets always go, I mean, except when they're going retrograde, they go forward. But the nodes, the north node and south node, always go the opposite way. And they don't change signs that often. I don't remember how many years in between, but it's a
A
big
lot.
chunk of years. Yeah. So now, July 17th, the North Node entered Aries and South Node entered Libra. So it's we have an episode on this as well.
Hmm.
Um Very, very karmic thing that, globally we're now being asked to look and go into that direction more of the Aries and Libra axis. And Aries Libra axis to me is a lot about me and us.
Yep.
You know,
I and
it's
we.
yeah, the I and we, where Aries is the I, Libra is the we, let's do it together, and Aries is that leader, and Libra is that like, what about the other? So this from now on we're in it's sort of it's still new because we've just been here for 6 months. So we're still getting a taste of that like balancing of the north and the south node.
Yep.
And the north node is where you're heading, and the south node is sort of an energy where we have already been. So we're
Yeah.
heading more into that the leadership, the taking the first step, the not being afraid, the courageous
Yep. What
as
do
a
I
humanity.
need to make, it's getting out of that survival mode and into more thrival mode and really evaluating what you need to take care of you and for your spiritual advancement. It can get a little bit selfish, but at the same time, sometimes we need to be selfish with our own time and our own desires because we don't come here to live our life for other people. We come here to live it with other
Mm,
people, right? So I think that's the goal of the node changing energy is for us to
mm.
recognize how to be selfish but in a mature way.
Yeah, for sure that. And also the like speaking up for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not only about what you like things that are affecting you, but what are affecting your neighbor or like, globally what's happening with other people, that you're really helping other people's raise their voice and raising your voice for them.
Yep.
This is really just like the Aries energy is that of like not being afraid, just taking that first step and not really backing down and just standing by your beliefs and
Also, taking into account the South Node in Libra, where we are considerate of others while we're doing that, right? We don't need to be an asshat about it. We can still be considerate of the we while taking care of the I.
yes.
I love that. My picture for this day is a really cute one. It's my husband and my
Oh,
baby just hanging out and
aw,
smiling at each other and playing. I like that one.
it's very cute. And mine is when I had, it's about, it's astrology. It's when I went to deliver a whole bunch of like, uh, readings, like,
Nice.
written down readings to a party.
Woo woo.
Whoop, whoop. So that was
Which is
nice too.
which is bold of you to do. You'd not done something like that before.
No, yeah,
That was a new thing. An Aries energy for you.
that was very Aries energy. Yeah, that was fun. And next up, July 23rd, Chiron, Chiron goes retrograde in Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So that
So,
has our wound at heart, right? Our self-esteem, our self-worth. And when it goes retrograde, we need to really take a look around, right? Identify what is triggering us. Why are we being triggered? And really, I love this sentence. Really allow yourself to walk away from unwinnable wars. knowing when not to engage.
That's amazing.
Yeah, knowing when it's just not necessary. So that's the Chiron retrograde energy, July 23rd. And then of course that keeps going until um I actually have that one written down on my notes for the next half of the year. So we'll talk about Chiron going direct. What do you
Yeah.
got for July 23rd?
Picture. The picture I have for July is this.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a picture of my boyfriend standing in front of a very nice piece of art, uh, sort of
I
graffitied
like that.
in our
Yeah, it is a
neighborhood.
it is a graffiti. I love that.
Yeah,
Just an
just a
erect
nice
penis
composition.
graffiti. I love that. I'm like, yeah, nice. Look at everybody just yeah. I
The
like
most
how
fun things are the most immature.
absolutely. I love how he was standing just precarious, just enough there, right? Oh, that's fun. What is on my thing that day? Oh, I have a cute little firecracker in a swing. I got a kiddo, a
Oh,
toddler in a swing, being adorable.
summer feelings.
Yep. And she's got her natal Chiron in Aries. So it's the only fire placement she has. Isn't that
Mm.
interesting?
Yeah, Chiron.
Only thing.
Yeah. So Chiron, how long is Chiron retrograde for?
I'll tell you in a minute when I get to December's placements.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing around 5 months
Um,
then.
right. There you go. Around now.
That's a long time.
It is a
Mm.
long time to evaluate your self-esteem wounds and your self-worth issues.
Yeah,
You, you get plenty of
I'm done.
opportunity to really dig in, right? So in August, we started it out with a full moon in Aquarius. So we got the full moon of weirdness, right? So you get to launch into the month of August with that. But there's a couple other things going on. But towards the end of the month, August 23rd, we had a retrograde cycle with Mercury, and Mercury went retrograde in Virgo. And this year, these retrogrades with Mercury happened in earth signs, and then it would retrograde back into some of them retrograded back into a fire sign. Some did not, but this was Virgo. So this was a time for us to really take a look at our health, really take a look at how we're being of service to people, and really evaluate how are we being of service to ourself in our health regime, our health regimen, and making sure we're really taking care of ourselves. So that is kind of how we entered September and school season and all that, was with this Mercury retrograde in Virgo in our
Mm,
analyzing, right? Reanalyzing, really getting the details of
mm.
our life figured out, figuring out new schedules, all of that fun stuff. What did you do August 23rd?
August 23rd. I was in the garden outside. Me and David was paying a visit to the garden, looking at the corn grow, looking at the beans grow.
Nice. Nice.
That was nice. So
I
yeah, we
miss
have,
August with the produce,
yes,
everywhere.
me too. There's about three Mercury retrogrades in a year.
Hmm.
So we started off with the Capricorn retrograde, then Virgo.
And now we're in one right now.
No, hang on. What about Taurus?
We probably had one in there and just didn't mention it. Too much happening in a
It was
year.
there somewhere.
Is there somewhere? My picture is one of my children, Guinevere, my 10-year-old, with the baby, and she's got a laptop on her lap in a hammock. There it is, next to our
Oh.
field of berries. So she's just
Ah,
hanging out, doing homeschool on a laptop with a baby in a hammock, just just hanging out,
that's the life.
right? What a tough
That's
life.
the life.
Enjoying her ability to just do whatever in that Mercury retrograde cycle of like let's just pull back and just review things.
Mm,
So
yeah.
she was doing that. Yeah, we're enjoying that. And then the 27th of August, we had a Mars situation where Mars moved into Libra. Now, I've been really paying more attention to Mars this year. Mars takes 4 years to go around the zodiac. So we have not experienced Mars in Libra for a while. So think kind of about around 4 years ago, what was going on. This is an energy where we would have really had the fight kind of pulled out of us because
Mm,
Libra doesn't want to fight.
mm,
Mars loves to, but Libra's like, no, actually, we're going to negotiate and talk. You don't need to yell at me. You can sit down and I will be right there and we'll chat in a minute. Right. Like this is where Mars gets kind of put in his place by Libra to be like, no, you don't get to come in
mm,
here guns blazing. No, this is a place of peace. Now sit down and wait your turn. Take a number.
mm,
So we would have had this time of make love, not war kind of energy, right? Or if you're going to fight, you fight for peace. You fight for harmony. You fight for the we. You
mm,
fight for justice and for fairness. So this is either collaborate or make others into our competition. But even if you make them into the competition, there's not a lot of good fight energy there. It's more of a war of words. So that was an interesting exit to August. What did you have going on August 27th?
let's see here. I was just thinking about 4 years ago, was sort of the beginning of COVID-19. Remember that one?
Yeah, but
That
we
was
didn't know it.
crazy
We
times.
didn't know it yet though.
We did not know it at that time. No, that was still like a couple of months in the future.
Yeah,
Bruin.
it was
Did you say
brewing.
27?
Yeah, August 27th.
Let's see here. I was going through my old notebook and taking pictures of drawings. Mm,
Oh, I love that. What is that?
thank you. It's a person with banana hair or
I love
like
your weirdness.
zucchini hair or something.
That's amusing. We were processing zucchini. That's what we were doing.
Ooh,
We were
you were
processing
processing zucchini. Oh, I remember
lots,
this.
lots
Oh, you
of
had so
zucchini.
much zucchini.
Yes, and then with lots of cauliflower and broccoli.
Hmm. Do you still have that zucchini? Like you have not used it all yet, right?
It's in the freezer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
We
amazing.
freeze dried a lot of it and we powdered it. And then
Ooh.
we add it with a scoop to our soups and our smoothies and our baked goods. And we throw zucchini powder in a lot of our stuff. But
Mm.
shh, don't tell my kids.
They will never know.
They don't need to know. They
They don't
don't
need
need
to know that.
to.
Into the cupcakes
So,
and stuff.
right? So we had also the 28th of August, the next day after that Mars went into Libra, Uranus went retrograde in Taurus. So Uranus did a pause and started working backwards for 5 months. And this is like kind of this rage against the machine, right? That's what this is again. And we got to ditch these toxic cycles that are no longer working for us. So this is like that rebellious planet again trying to deal with this slow ass Taurus energy that's stubborn and figure out how to fix this food system or this work on relationships or get your money right or whatever you need to do. You're going to have to figure it out. And the end of August kind of forced us to do that again. So that was the August 28th. That was the next day.
Mm.
I don't think I have any pictures from that day. Yeah, I nope, I lied. I do. I got a picture. I got baby pictures. Imagine that. I got a baby and a teen talking to each other.
Oh, that's so cute.
So, yeah.
This is the day when me and David traveled to Mexico. No, not to Mexico. That was a lie. To Greece. But that's also really, really nice.
That
And this
is.
is the first trip that we did together since pre-pandemic. So
Oh,
that was a
fantastic.
really nice time for us to be going on adventures again.
I love that. That
Mm.
sounds such a great time to do that. And then we went into September. September 3rd, Venus went direct in Leo. So Venus had been all through summer, like basically trekking all the way back through Leo. and now stopped and turned around and finally went back direct. So we were getting our confidence back. We were starting to have more self-esteem now. We were starting to value that courageousness. But before that, it was more like, I don't know, is this right? And this was the whole time we were working on purchasing this business and purchasing this
Mm.
cafe and the whole time. And it was testing our courage. It was testing our values. It was testing all of that. And then in early September, stuff started to come clear that um, there had been facts and figures that had been hidden, and stuff just started to come out a little bit
Mm.
that it wasn't looking as positive as initially presented to us. And so we were starting to recognize the financial thing, right? Venus, we were starting to recognize the financial thing and start to see that uh with Leo, sometimes things can be a little too optimistic, right? Those fire
Yeah.
signs can get a little optimistic, and that we were starting to see that maybe we were getting a little too optimistic about this whole situation. So that
Yeah.
was what was happening for us September 3rd. How about you?
Mm. September 3rd, I was in Greece, having a really nice time eating. No, September 3rd. Oh, hang on.
Were you still in Greece?
Yes, I was still in Greece. Oh, so many pictures. Let's see here. Let's choose one. Let's choose this delicious food pictures.
Right?
So this is down at like one of the favorite restaurants that we found there. In Milos, we were in a place called Milos, where Venus de Milo was
That's
found.
right. You
S-
were at the statue.
We lived like a few hundred meters away from where they found that statue, and that yeah, they have the replica there, and it looks amazing. It just looks unbelievable. If you're gonna go to Greece, go to Milos. It's just out
All
of this
right.
world, and the food in Athens as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we have a food picture from that day, but we are picking it from the tree.
Oh,
So
that's
this
high
is
up.
our pear tree. Yeah, Philip's 6. He's quite tall, 6'5". So he's on a ladder. He's probably 12 feet in the air. But we were getting an abundance of pears that day. So
Mm-mm.
also large quantities of food. Thank you,
Mm.
Venus in Leo. Appreciate that.
Yes. Yes.
What else happened in September? So the next day, I think this is an important one. Jupiter went retrograde in Taurus. So that I think is a big one, September 4th. So Venus turned around, went direct in Leo, and then Jupiter turned around and went
Mm.
retrograde in
Yeah.
Taurus.
Yeah. And retrogrades is all about that time when you need to reevaluate things. So reevaluating tourist things, maybe where like with your cafe, like was I too overly positive when I was looking at those numbers? Could have been a
Yes,
thing that you were thinking about.
100%. Yep,
Yeah. Was
absolutely.
it
Yeah,
during
you'll
the
feel
retrograde?
a little unstable. I feel like
Mm,
every time Jupiter goes retrograde, I feel like it causes such an instability because it is the biggest planet and it has such a large frequency and a big effect on us. And it can get us in
mm,
trouble because of the ridiculous optimism.
yeah.
Like, you can do it. No, I really can't. Would you get out of here? Go away. Oh,
Yes, like a
thank you
big
to
cheerleader.
Saturn for helping us to see the light there, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, that was
retrogrades are
September.
important.
They are. They are. I really appreciate them. I really appreciate them. So that was September 4th. And then the 15th, I know we don't talk about her often, but September 15th, I think it's important to take note that Ceres, this is our planet of self care, how we take care of ourselves. And September 15th, she moved into Scorpio. And Scorpio is a time of intense transformation. And I did a lot of readings during this time for people who really needed to evaluate how well they were taking care of themselves. How were they nourishing themselves and how were they doing their self-care? And Scorpio is was asking you to really go deep and do a big transformation around nourishing your physical body, your spiritual body, your emotional body. your relationships, right? Like, how do you take care of yourself? So that whole from September on until Ceres moved into Sag not too long ago, you really needed to be digging into that transformation of, I got to take care of myself different. I need to take some more supplements. I need to drink some more water. I got to go out and exercise more. Maybe I just need to go journal and be alone. Right. But that self care planet really required some deep perspective shift. So I hope all of you did that in September, middle of September.
Hmm.
15th. What do you got from your pictures the 15th? What were you doing?
I was reading about Pluto.
You were reading about Pluto on the 15th?
I think so.
That's fun.
Oh
We were
no. Oh, sorry. This is another book. No, I was reading this really, really great book. Uh that was about this man. It's a true story about this man who the manager of the Doors.
like the band.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I don't remember the name of the book, but it's a really good book. I it's the best book I've read in years.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's called like Dreamland Avenue it's called. Dreamland Avenue. That's what I was
Excellent.
reading. Very
Nice.
interesting.
You have a picture of yourself
Very
reading the book?
I do. I
That's
know, I
so
think
cute.
this is like something I wanted to remember. I'm just reading this is sentence that says, plus he was an Aquarius.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you took a picture of yourself reading a book that had an astrology reference in it.
Yeah, but I think it was for another reason. I think I was taking picture. I don't know. It's a lot of text in there. I need to go
Yes,
back and read.
that's great. That same day, though, Mercury, 15th, Mercury also went direct in Virgo. So we got that, our mind to kind of come down and get out of the anxiety of being in that retrograde in that Virgo cycle and then can logically move forward again and not be so judgmental. So that day we were, of course, we were working with produce and
More
picking apples,
fruit.
more fruit, taking care of ourselves and looking at utilizing our food that we get from our farm, utilizing it differently. So I
Mm.
remember taking these apples and freeze drying them and powdering them. And we have like apple powder. We have all kinds of like food powders now that are freeze dried that I want to make into like super food blends and things like that, like
Mm.
our own little like supplementation of our own food. So
It's amazing.
we that's what we were thinking about is taking care of ourselves differently.
Mm.
That's yep, that's exactly it. All right, what
Well
happened
done.
in October? Got a couple things in October. On the 8th, Venus entered into Virgo. So she had been in Leo for a while, a big chunk of the year. She doesn't normally stay in a sign for too long, but this year,
Mm.
because of her retrograde, she went almost all the way through Leo, then almost all the way back through Leo, then almost all the way back through Leo. So going into Virgo gave us finally a different value system with Venus there. That was, what did I say? The night, no,
October 8th.
October 8th. Yep, October 8th. So what's your picture from that day? I don't
Let's
even
see what I
know.
got.
So, with Venus going into Virgo, we can be more analytical about the things we value, be more analytical about what we spend money on, who we spend our time with. That would be just more diligent about things, would be that
Um,
energy.
Picture me with my nephew and niece.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's cute. See, so you're spending time with foundational people, right? We got that Virgo energy.
Hmm.
Let's see what I got. The 8th, October 8th.
And
Yep.
also, just I see a screenshot that I took on October 8th that I posted October 7th. Tomorrow Mars is square to Pluto.
Nice.
Mars is
Yeah.
square to Pluto. That's a big thing. And
That was,
I mean,
yeah,
on October 7th, that's when Hamas um did
that
that
was.
attack.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. So Mars
the
was
state of
in
Israel.
Libra and was squared to Pluto in Capricorn. So we have
Yeah.
that planet of fight in the sign of peace and harmony and having a hard conversation to the planet of intense transformation in the sign of structure
Mm.
and rigidity and
Yeah.
foundations. So
Pluto.
I remember that. I remember you messaging me. I remember watching
Mm.
this going, "Oh, wow." Like
Yeah, oh shit.
we had a suspicion something was brewing. Yep, I remember
Yeah.
that.
I did yeah, power struggles, destruction, transformation, Pluto, and Mars, that combative planet.
Yeah.
This is really when the things that you worry about happening when you have this sort of aspect, Mars squared
Yeah.
to Pluto.
Yep.
And it happened, and it's terrible, and we're all like, what people are suffering from that date now, not just from that date. Anyway, things are shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's aggressiveness
Shit.
and anxiousness combined.
Mm,
Yeah, useless fighting is what that is. It's
mm,
just it's useless argumentation, argumentativeness, and now we have people losing lives still because of that energy
mm.
and the buildup of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
so
was a
that was
tough
a
one.
huge transit.
Yep, October 8th was a really, really tough one. Really tough one. I remember that well. And then after that, the 10th, we had Pluto went direct in Capricorn. So Pluto had been retrograde and then finally turned around, started going direct. That I remember happened on my husband's career house, on his 10th house, midheaven sign. And we personally at home were having kind of a crisis of career. What is he going to do? What are we going to do? The cafe's not going through. What do we do? What do we do? It was very, very transformational, foundational stuff going on here. So we were thankful for the direct movement now, and now we'll get out of Capricorn. I think for
Mm.
good. Or does he touch Capricorn one more time? I don't remember. I'll have to check for next year.
Yeah, might be retrograding back in Capricorn
Just for a
again. I
smidge.
don't think so, but we let's get
We'll
back
look.
to that.
We'll
Yeah.
look. And then right after that, the next day, October 11th, Mars went into Scorpio. So this was like again one of those like do 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 do, right? And so now the planet of fight now goes into a sign that actually likes to fight. So that and go and have that transformation, right?
Mm.
That dig the stuff up from the bottom and have this massive transformation. So Scorpio is one of the rulers of Mars and Scorpio, and this could be passionate. This could be fighting. This could be biting. Could be mystery.
Manipulative.
Yep, manipulative
Very
for
much
sure.
like a manipulative wartime.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
yeah, hi doing things in a hidey way.
Well, think about this with this Hamas war and all of that that's going on there. It's been real yucky, manipulative stuff, right? It's been
Yeah,
underhanded.
I think just recently they finally got proof that the state of Israel was manipulating a lot of footage,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
saying that they were actually finding bunkers of Hamas under uh, under a hospital when they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those kind of
That's
things.
really manipulative kind of tactics. Mars can be comfortable in Scorpio and it can get into some real deep, passionate stuff, or it can get into some intense power struggles and
Yeah, for
power
sure, power
plays too.
struggle.
So what were you doing on the 11th? What did you have happening?
11th of October. I was, let's see here, drinking tea. Drinking tea
Nice.
and taking a selfie of me drinking tea with
Nice.
nice light.
Right? I was at Lake Michigan with my daughter taking a walk and having a date with my 10-year-old Gwen and enjoying the sparkly sunshine on Lake Michigan.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
just
nice. It does
enjoying
look
our
like an
time.
ocean.
We call it Lake Michigan Ocean.
Yeah.
It is. It's huge. It is. And then at the end of the month, the 28th, we had one of the eclipses. It was an eclipse year, and we had a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. So this was a big one, and everything took on a big intensity, a deeper intensity. So this was a really big time where there was just a lot of intensity in general. And then we had the eclipse that just added to it.
Yeah, yeah. Eclipse season happened. And yeah, during the eclipse, you never really know where everything is going, and it takes a whole cycle. Let's see. It takes around, I think that what happened on around the eclipse in October will sort of show itself and manifest, and you will see sort of the fruit of that in the next season of eclipses, which will be in 2024, maybe around April, something like that.
I think so.
Well, you can hear all about it in the next episode.
We'll tell you. We'll tell you when we look it up.
Yep.
I was interested. My brother got a bunch of blueberry bushes on sale because it was the end of the season and they were selling for $1 and they're normally 15 a plant. And so I told him to get me all of them. So he got me 30 of them and we put them
Oh,
in our land and we made an Aquarius symbol with the blueberry bushes.
oh my
So
God.
the end of October, which is not normally planting season here, but the end of October, we made an Aquarian symbol with blueberries in our yard
Nice.
with $1 blueberries. So
Very nice.
that was how we were using that Taurus eclipse. Putting more
Yeah.
food in the ground. Oh my God, ridiculous. So November, what happened November? The 4th, Saturn went direct in Pisces. So Saturn had been retrograde for a while and got just to the end of Pisces. I think it was 0 degrees, and then
Yeah.
paused and went direct on November 4th. So
Hmm.
back to reality, or whatever reality looks like with Saturn in the non-reality sign of Pisces.
Hmm.
So you can get back into dreamy land and not so much in fear-based land, which Saturn and Pisces during all of this, stuff with the war and all that definitely can lead to more paranoia, right? It can lead into that fear of the
Anxiety.
unknown,
Yeah.
fear of the nebulous. So November 4th turned around, started trekking back forward. What were you doing on the 4th?
Oh, let's see here. Photos of astrology. Just, oh, you know what? I have a screenshot. That's funny. I have a screenshot of the current planets at that time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
A lot of water we had. A lot of water, a lot of Pisces, scorpionic energy.
Yeah, that's fun. Can you imagine this? I have another picture of a cat and a kid and a husband planting stuff in the ground.
What? No way.
What the what? That's so weird. I wonder
What are
what
you
my life
planting there?
consists of. Garlic.
Ooh.
Yeah, you put garlic in November here because I don't know why. That's what it needs. You just need to put it in fall.
Mm.
So we did. So November 8th, this was my daughter's birthday. There was a bunch going on that day, but the main one was Venus moved into Libra. So that's the normal trek, is pretty quick. Venus goes pretty quickly, but this one she goes into Libra, which is where we can really fall in love.
Mm. It
That feels
is.
good. I fell in love with my kiddo again on her
Oh,
birthday. She turned 12 and I don't know, I think 12 is pretty fun. She's just a fun kid, Miss Gertie. We've had her on the show.
yeah. Oh my God.
She was
Ball of
educating us
energy.
on astrology.
Yeah, she was. I
But
have a photo of me crying because we just got the papers about from migrations that my boyfriend can be here permanently.
yay, what a phenomenal thing to have happen on Venus entering Libra Day.
Yeah, that is very Venus and Libra. Oh my
Oh
God,
my
I
gosh,
never
I
thought that
love
day was gonna come.
that. I love
Yeah.
that. So you got the official stamp of approval from the
Yes.
Swedish government that he can stay.
Yes.
Nice. Nice. That feels good. November 17th, we scroll down a little bit further and we had Mars and the Sun line up together in Scorpio. So Mars and the sun come conjunct every year because the sun obviously goes around the zodiac every year. But they don't always become conjunct in Scorpio. So this was
Mm,
a new energy for us we haven't felt in a couple years. Very passionate, deep intensity, and we have a really strong will to take on anything, right? Like
mm,
that was like the start of that. I'm going to do this.
mm,
I'm gonna take it on, right? This intense kind of go juice, right? Mars is the go, and the sun is how we identify. So we get the I, and then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with this. So that was a really intense day. What happened for you? What was your pictures for?
My picture is from my colleague leaving, quitting, or not I don't have a picture of her quitting, but I have a picture of like our goodbye sort of celebration for her, and it was really nice because an old colleague also came to see us, and this is the gang at
Aw,
work. Christina in the middle there. She has left our building,
left the building.
um, and she's a Scorpio. And she decided to leave during her season, which I think is a good idea.
That feels good.
Yeah,
That feels good.
that was a nice day.
Is
We
that
had
really
some
what I've
cake
got?
and
Really?
bubbly.
I've got.
Let me guess. A kid outside with an animal.
Well, close. I've
Okay.
got we actually obtained two. This is ridiculous. We actually obtained new cat
Uh,
that day, two
Was
new
that
cats
Spirit
that
Day?
day.
No, this is not
So this
Spirit.
this is Mako actually. Mako was a kitten that was born here during the pandemic. Went to live at my friend's house and had a good life there, but then they sold their home and moved and couldn't take the cats with, so we adopted their two cats, and one of them was previously ours. So he stayed. The other kitty that we adopted actually went and lived at the farm down the road. So one of the kitties decided there's too many cats here. I can't be here. Went and lived at the farm, and this kitty, who we originally had here, came
Came
back.
back home.
So now we have another cat. All of my pictures have been cats or kids or
Or produce.
plant or produce. What did you do in 2023? Animals, children, and produce. Oh well, that's my thing. 24th, we had a huge day. November 24th was huge. We had Mars move into Sagittarius. The planet of Ceres, the self care nurturing asteroid, moved into Sagittarius, both of them the same day. And Mars squared Saturn that day as well.
Mm.
So that was an active day of new
Mars
energy
square
with
Saturn.
Sagittarius, right? Being more active, being more fiery, being more optimistic, taking action a little
Mm.
quicker. But then Mars square to Saturn is just not the best in general.
No, Mars square anything because Mars is, yeah, it's that very combative energy. And
Mhm.
a square is already that uncomfortable energy. And then you put uncomfortableness with like combativeness and that like a little bit of aggression that you just, you know, that and sorry, it was square to what?
To
Mars
Saturn
square
and
to
Pisces.
Saturn. Oh no.
So I
All
feel like
right.
Pisces kind of like snuffs out the energy and makes you almost feel like you just need a nap. Right? Like this is where you've got this interesting tension where like you don't know what to take action on. And with
Hmm.
Saturn and Pisces, you just all right, never, I'm gonna call this one. I'm just gonna go take a nap. Go hibernate for the day.
Hmm.
So November 24th was interesting because Ceres would have asked you in Sagittarius to, again, new energy on self-care. Now we're going to be a little bit more optimistic now that we've evaluated all this self-care stuff we weren't doing well. Now we're going to take action on it. Then Mars moving into Sagittarius could be helpful, but then that square to Saturn and Pisces is like, well, how about we start with a nap first? Then we'll go take action
Yeah.
in a few days. Not right
Yeah.
now.
No.
That's okay. We can do that. Naps are needed. What did
Yeah.
you have for your picture the 24th?
I went out on a nice dinner with my friend, and I have a picture of a really pretty bottle of water. Vichy Catalan. So water from
Nice.
Catalan. I like that.
I had not painted in forever, and I did a date with the kid. I don't know which kid because I didn't take a picture of that, but I took a picture of the painting that I did, and it's black with stars. It's hard to see, but it's a portal
Wow,
to another dimension. It's like a portal out in space with a rainbow bridge to it, and then a doorway into another world.
that's really nice.
So that's what I painted on a
I
Mars
like that.
square Saturn and Pisces day.
Yeah, it's like let me just go over here.
I'm gonna check out so much. I'm gonna
Yeah,
create my own portal into
yeah,
another realm.
yeah.
That's fun.
Mars square Saturn feels very hard, like hard work. Like you're getting into sort of combat with something very karmic for yourself.
Hmm.
Like things you needed to do, but was very hard.
I remember this day and I remember not wanting to do anything because everything felt difficult. I remember feeling
Mm,
that very, very clear because it was right
yeah.
by my brother's birthday and I was supposed to be going out with him and there's all kinds of things I was supposed to be doing and I didn't want to do any of it. So I went in the studio and I painted a portal to another dimension.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
When in
That makes
doubt.
right. When in doubt, go make your own world. So then we enter into December.
Yep.
And December 6th, we had Neptune go direct in Pisces. And Neptune had been retrograde since June 30th. So the end of June until early December, Neptune had been going retrograde and finally turns around and goes back forward. And we now have forward momentum on connection with our spiritual selves, with our artistry, with our intuitive knowledge, with our healing abilities. So that's a big one that
Mm.
kind of take note of. What you got from the December
Uh,
6th?
I was sitting in front of the fire at my
Nice.
parents' house drinking a cup of coffee.
Nice.
Yeah, this is my place to be in the winter months in front of the fire at my parents' house.
I love it. That works
Yeah.
perfect.
I started knitting it today, by the way.
You started knitting.
Yeah, because I'm sick and I've been sick for a while, and like I told you, what I realized when I got sick, I said, okay, I surrender. I'm not going to do anything. Fine, universe. So I've been still, and I thought, what can take my hands off my phone and like Instagram? So I picked up
Okay.
knitting.
So I have a picture of you can't see it.
Is it a meme?
It's Mark Wahlberg. It's a meme and it says, "What do you mean you don't knit or crochet? So what do you even do?" And that's so funny that you started knitting and I found that meme. That's
Such a
amusing.
good thing to do with your hands
I
when
do
you're
it with
still,
every movie we watch. I if we watch
yeah,
a family movie, I knit and I crochet because I can't. Otherwise, I'll like sit and like pick at my fingers or like bite my nails. Like I do
yeah.
dumb stuff that is so unnecessary. So I made sure to teach myself a skill like that, and now I use it all the time when I am watching movies or sitting idle. Like you're like I'm
It's
sitting
great.
here. What can
It's
I
great.
do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really great.
So that was the first part of December was Neptune going into Pisces or going direct in Pisces. Then we had a whole bunch of stuff happen, but the main one I want to address is well, just happened yesterday, the 26th. Chiron goes direct in Aries or went direct in
Mm,
Aries. So
that was yesterday,
that was yesterday with the full
December
moon.
26th.
Yep. So the 26th of December. Did you take any pictures yesterday?
Let's see.
I don't know if I did. Yeah, I did. What a liar. I'm a liar.
I
I took a
yeah,
lot of
I did.
pictures.
Yeah. Let me see.
Pisces. All right, here's mine. I got sleeping kids.
What's that? Oh, sleeping.
Sleeping baby and a
It's
sleeping
very
toddler next to each
cute.
other.
I
Yep.
have another photo of the fire.
Nice.
Yep.
I like fire photos. That works. Yep. Got sleeping kids. And I did some other like selfies of me and the two littles
Yeah.
just
Cute.
playing on the chair. All right. And then the last transit I have is probably my favorite on the 30th. Jupiter moves forward and goes direct in Taurus.
That's
The
future now.
day the day
But when you're
before
listening, it will be in the past.
Yep, the day before the end of the year. Jupiter's
You
like,
know
"All
what I
right, I'll
did? I
throw
went
you
to
a
look at
bone."
my phone to find a picture from that day. It's in the future. Silly me.
That's
No
amusing.
pictures yet. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah, that was the whole year.
That was a fun recap. I like that we
Yeah.
looked through pictures.
It's makes it sort of easier to remember what you've been doing, and I hope that you all who listened also got your phones out and went through your year in review with us. And it would be nice to get some of your pictures from these dates, and you can send them to our Instagram, which is
Mm-hmm.
called Ram and Goat Astrology. Yeah, Ram and Goat Astrology on Instagram.
Yep.
It'd be fun to
Yeah.
see.
We would love to. We got a bunch of new stuff planned for you guys coming up in the new year. We got new classes coming out we're recording on just like how to understand astrology on a basic level so that you can implement it into your reality. And we're going to be selling some merchandise, Ram and Goat merchandise. We got all kinds of fun stuff for the next year. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited. And
Woo.
we've got some new interviews planned. If you want to be interviewed, if you want to be on the show, let us know. And we have to give a disclaimer that finding recording times can be a little bit challenging because we are on other sides of the world. So be patient with us. We will get you in and get you scheduled, but it can be a little bit difficult. So we appreciate your understanding there.
Yeah.
Anything else, Helena?
No, I'm just really looking forward to talking about what's happening in the next coming year. And that episode will be released next week, and be sure to join us then. Um, to be honest, I didn't really want to record this episode because I didn't want to go back because it's been such a hard year, I feel like. And now when we've done it, it feels good to have done it, but I'm so ready for taking a peek at what's the big things happening astrologically in 2024. And I'm
Yeah,
really hoping for some good stuff, a lot of good stuff.
I know. Me too. I can't wait to see what Pluto decides to do. That's the big one for me. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh,
And
Pluto's
you have
gonna.
an election coming on.
We
So it'd be
do.
interesting to see what's happening around that time.
Yeah, America's about to change, y'all. And I'm so excited to see it. Be part
Mm.
of the revolution.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's a good one. Hopefully,
Excuse
we'll
me.
see. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great new year, and we will catch you in 2024.
See you then.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Ram and Goat Astrology. You can support the show by buying us a coffee or a tea. Link in the show notes. Your financial support means the world to us. Join us next time.